Ever feel like you're capable of so much more, but something's holding you back?
Yeah.
Well, today we're diving deep into the power of belief
Okay.
with Myron Golden's YouTube video.
Right.
No Doubt, Only Belief.
I like that title.
Yeah, and it's not just about positive thinking.
Right.
Get ready to uncover how belief really impacts what we achieve and how to build a belief system
Okay.
that works for you, not against you.
So Golden doesn't just give us motivational fluff. He
No.
uses a biblical story.
Hmm.
But honestly, even if that's not your thing,
Right.
the message is super relatable.
Yeah.
It's about those moments where we want something so badly,
Mhm.
yet doubt creeps in.
Okay. Story time.
Okay.
It's about a father who brings his son to Jesus to be healed.
Mm-hmm.
The son is possessed by a spirit that's causing some serious issues.
Oh, wow.
He can't speak, he has seizures, the whole 9 yards.
That's rough.
The father is desperate.
Yeah.
He's tried everything.
I bet.
Even Jesus' disciples couldn't help.
And that desperation is key
Okay.
because it sets the stage for this incredible exchange.
Right.
The father pleads,
Yeah.
if you can do anything,
Yeah.
please help us.
Wow.
Notice that if you can,
Yeah.
it reveals this underlying doubt. It's not even necessarily about doubting Jesus.
Mm.
It's about doubting the possibility of a solution at all.
Yeah, I feel that.
Right.
Like sometimes the problem feels so big,
Mm-hmm.
we doubt any solution exists.
Exactly.
So what does Jesus say to that?
His response flips the whole situation on its head. He
Okay,
says,
yeah.
if you can believe,
Yeah.
all things are possible to him who believes.
Hmm.
It's not about Jesus's power.
Right?
It's about the Father's belief.
Whoa.
That's huge, right?
Yeah.
The miracle hinges on belief.
That really makes you think.
Yeah.
Because most of us probably assume it's about divine power,
Right.
not our own belief.
Exactly.
But wait,
Yeah.
the dad doesn't magically become super faithful, right?
Not at all.
Okay.
He gives this super honest answer.
Uh-huh.
Lord, I believe, help my unbelief.
That's so human.
Right.
We want to believe,
Yeah.
but doubt lingers.
Mm-hmm.
It's that internal struggle
Mhm.
between hope and skepticism,
Exactly.
okay, that resonates.
Yeah.
I think everyone's been there
Mhm.
wanting something but doubting themselves at the same time.
Right.
So does Jesus turn the guy away because his faith isn't perfect?
Nope. And this is important.
Okay.
Even with the dad's wavering belief,
Yeah.
Jesus heals the boy.
Wow.
The miracle happens after
Mm-hmm.
the father admits his struggle with belief.
So it's not about erasing doubt completely.
Right.
It's about being honest about it.
Yeah.
That seems to tie in with what Golden says
Uh-huh.
about taking action being part of belief.
Exactly.
Okay.
He connects the story to a bigger point.
All right.
True belief isn't passive. It's shown through what we do,
Mm.
not just what we say.
And Golden uses an example from his work coaching salespeople, right?
Right.
Right.
He noticed salespeople struggled when they were consumed by their own anxieties,
Yeah.
focused on getting the sale
Right.
rather than helping the customer.
Mm-hmm.
But when they shifted their focus to providing value,
Yeah.
their success skyrocketed.
Yeah.
It wasn't about tricks.
Right.
It was about aligning their actions with the belief of genuinely serving others.
So instead of obsessing over the fruit of the sale,
Right.
they focused on nourishing the roots of genuine service.
Exactly.
Interesting how that connects to Golden's later point about painting old fruit versus planting new roots, right?
Mhm.
Like if our underlying beliefs don't change,
Huh?
superficial efforts won't work.
Spot on.
Okay.
And this leads us to a potentially tricky term,
Okay.
but stick with me because it's fascinating.
All right.
Golden talks about seeking the kingdom of God,
Mhm.
but he's not talking about a physical place.
All right. Lay it on us. What's this kingdom all about then?
He describes it as a realm of jurisdiction,
Okay.
which sounds super technical, but bear with me.
Okay.
It's more about a state of being.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging a higher power
Yeah.
and aligning ourselves with its principles.
Okay.
Think of it like aligning your actions
Uh-huh.
with your deepest values.
So instead of passively waiting for divine intervention,
Right.
it's about actively choosing to live in a way
Mm-hmm.
that leads to greater purpose.
Exactly.
That's starting to make sense.
Yeah.
And this is where his critique of positive affirmations comes in.
Okay.
He's not saying positive thinking is bad,
Right.
but that simply repeating affirmations without genuine belief
Mm-hmm.
is like putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone. You've got to address the root cause.
So are you saying we already believe something, But the question is, are those beliefs serving us?
Right.
Or holding us back?
That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
It's about going beyond surface-level affirmations and digging deeper to understand our core beliefs.
Exactly.
What are the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of?
That's making me think.
Yeah.
What are those core beliefs?
Right.
And how do we even begin to figure that out? That's a great question. And it's where things start to get really practical.
Okay.
Golden's point about embracing our identity as beings made in God's image can be a helpful starting point.
Okay.
Even if you're not religious.
Okay. I'm curious to see where this goes.
Yeah.
How does that concept play into our beliefs about ourselves?
Well, it challenges us to think about where our sense of worth comes from.
Okay.
Are we defining ourselves by our achievements, our possessions, what other people think? Or are we tapping into something deeper? A sense of inherent worth. It comes from understanding our connection to something bigger than ourselves.
It's like we're constantly bombarded with messages
telling
us we need to do or be something specific to have value, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in that.
Exactly.
But Golden's point is that our true identity isn't something we earn.
Right.
It's something we already possess.
It's about recognizing that inherent worth.
So how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
It's easy to say embrace your true identity, but how do we actually make that shift from focusing on what we lack to recognizing our potential?
Golden suggests starting with awareness.
Okay.
Take some time for self-reflection.
Right.
Pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings.
Yeah.
What are the stories you tell yourself about your limitations? Where did those stories come from?
Right.
Are they based on reality?
Yeah.
Or just echoes of past experiences?
Okay, so it's like taking inventory of our mental baggage.
Right.
Identifying those beliefs. That might be holding us back. What then? Do we just try to ignore them?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Once you've identified those beliefs, you can start to challenge them.
Right.
Look for evidence that contradicts those negative stories.
Okay.
What are your strengths? What have you accomplished? Despite those perceived limitations.
Right.
Remember those moments where you surprised yourself with what you're capable of.
So instead of dwelling on the negatives,
we
shift our focus to the positives.
Exactly.
Those wins, big or small.
Yes.
It's like choosing to highlight the evidence that supports a more empowering belief.
Precisely.
And as we do that, something really interesting happens.
What's that?
We literally start to rewire our brains. We create new neural pathways that reinforce a more positive self-image.
Right.
And that opens up a world of possibilities.
Wait, so it's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about changing the way we physically think about ourselves.
That's right.
Wow.
As our beliefs about ourselves shift, so do our actions.
Right.
We're more likely to take risks, pursue our passions, and persevere through challenges because we believe we can handle them.
Exactly.
Our beliefs quite literally become self-fulfilling prophecies.
I'm starting to see how this all ties together.
Yeah.
It's not just about feeling good about ourselves.
Right.
It's about that belief translating into concrete action and ultimately into a more fulfilling life.
Exactly.
And Golden argues this shift in belief isn't just about personal gain. It actually empowers us to serve others.
Now that's intriguing.
Yeah.
How does believing in ourselves translate into helping others?
Think about it.
Okay.
When we're secure in our own identity and worth, we're less driven by ego or the need for validation.
Yeah.
We can genuinely focus on helping others.
Sharing our gifts, making a positive impact without needing something in return.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
If we're constantly seeking external validation, we have less to give to others.
Right.
It's like trying to pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
But when we're grounded in our true identity, we become a source of strength and inspiration for others.
Right.
We can lift them up, encourage them to embrace their own potential.
Yeah.
And that creates a ripple effect.
Okay, this is all great in theory, but for someone who's struggling with self-doubt, where do they even begin?
Right.
What are some tangible steps they can take to start embracing their true identity?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It often starts with simply being present with yourself. Take some quiet time each day for self-reflection.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your thoughts,
Right.
feelings, and bodily sensations.
Okay.
Notice the stories you tell yourself.
The judgments.
Yeah.
And the comparisons.
So that self-awareness we talked about earlier is really the foundation.
But what about those negative thoughts that inevitably pop up?
Yeah.
How do we deal with those?
Don't try to suppress or ignore them.
Okay.
Instead, acknowledge them. And then ask yourself, is this thought serving me?
Right.
Is it even true? Is there a different way to look at this?
So it's about actively choosing to challenge those limiting beliefs.
Yes.
And replace them with more empowering ones.
Exactly.
It sounds like ongoing work.
It is, but it's incredibly rewarding.
Yeah.
And it can be helpful to surround yourself with people who see your potential and encourage you to be your best self.
Right.
Their belief in you can help you believe in yourself.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like creating a positive feedback loop where the more surrounded we are by encouragement and support, the easier it becomes to believe in ourselves.
Exactly.
What about gratitude?
Okay.
Does that play a role?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Take time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small.
Right.
Gratitude helps shift our focus from what's lacking to what we already have.
Okay.
And that fosters a sense of abundance and contentment, which can help fuel our belief in ourselves and the possibilities life has to offer.
This is all great advice.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I want to tie this back to the story we started with.
All right.
Golden suggests the father's doubt stemmed from a misperception of his relationship with a higher power.
Yes.
Okay.
Golden argues that if the father had fully understood his inherent worth and the unconditional love available to him, his belief in his son's healing would have been much stronger.
So by limiting his understanding of his own connection to something greater, he inadvertently limited his belief in what was possible.
Precisely.
And this point resonates far beyond the religious context. It's about recognizing that we're all connected to something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
Whether it's God, the universe, or simply the collective human spirit.
Exactly.
And that connection is a source of strength and empowerment.
Yeah.
It reminds us we're not alone, that we have support, and that we're capable of achieving far more than we might imagine.
Exactly.
And that brings us full circle to the power of belief.
Right.
When we believe in ourselves, when we trust in our inherent worth and potential, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
I know, right?
We've explored the biblical story, Golden's kingdom of God, the importance of aligning actions with beliefs, and the transformative power of embracing our true identity.
And we've uncovered that belief isn't just wishful thinking. It's a dynamic force.
Yeah.
We can cultivate through action, self-reflection, and challenging our limiting beliefs.
We've covered a lot.
Yeah.
But there's one crucial piece left.
Okay.
The role of action.
All right.
How does taking action actually strengthen belief?
Right.
And how can we use that to achieve what seems impossible?
Okay, we're back. And I'm ready to tackle this final piece of the belief puzzle.
Okay.
Action.
All right.
It's so interesting how action and belief are interconnected. We often think we need unshakable faith before we can act.
Right.
But it seems like it's not that simple.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
Golden points out that sometimes taking a leap of faith, even without 100% certainty, can actually strengthen our belief.
So it's not about waiting for perfect faith.
Right.
It's about taking that first step, even when we're unsure.
Exactly.
Give me an example of how that works.
Think about learning to ride a bike.
Okay.
You were probably scared at first, full of doubts about balancing and not falling.
Right.
But then you took action. You pushed off, wobbled a bit, maybe even fell a few times.
Right.
Each time you got back up, each time you pedaled a little further, your belief in your ability grew.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
The more we do something, the more confident we become.
Exactly.
It's the same with any goal.
Right.
That first step is often the hardest because we're fighting those doubts and fears.
Yeah.
But once we take it, we gain momentum.
Right.
We see progress.
Yeah.
And that fuels our belief, making the next step easier and the next, and so on.
So it's like an upward spiral.
Right.
Action strengthens belief.
Yeah.
Which leads to more action.
Right.
And around we go.
Precisely.
But it's not about being reckless. Right. It's about calculated risks.
Okay.
Setting realistic goals.
Yep.
And then taking consistent action toward those goals.
And action doesn't always have to be some grand sweeping gesture, right? Yep. It can be small, consistent steps that build upon one another.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Consistency is key.
Right.
Small, consistent actions over time lead to big results.
Yeah.
It's like that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
And sometimes that first step is simply acknowledging those doubts and fears, but choosing to move forward anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Think back to the father in the story.
Right.
He didn't magically erase his doubts.
Right.
He acknowledged them.
Yeah.
He asked for help. That vulnerability was what opened the door for the miracle.
So it's about embracing the messiness of it all.
Right.
We don't have to have all the answers up front.
Right.
Okay.
Sometimes the act of taking action, even imperfectly, is the catalyst that shifts our belief.
Okay.
It's like we prove to ourselves that we can. Right.
And that fuels us to keep going.
Wow. We've covered so much ground today.
I know. It's a lot.
We've explored how our beliefs shape our reality, the importance of aligning actions with convictions, and the power of embracing our true identity.
And we've discovered that belief isn't static.
Right.
It's a dynamic process we can cultivate through action, self-reflection, and challenging our limiting beliefs.
What does all this mean for you, dear listener?
Yeah, that's the big question.
It means you have the power to create the life you desire.
That's right.
You're capable of incredible things. You don't have to be held back by doubts or fears.
It means you are worthy.
Yes.
You are powerful. And you are capable of making a positive impact.
You already have everything you need within you.
Yeah.
And taking action, even a small step, can help you unlock that potential.
That's a great way to put it.
We'll leave you with this final thought.
All right.
What would you attempt if you truly believed you couldn't fail?
Take that thought with you and see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep believing in yourself.